I'm just gonna set this down and forget about it. I don't think I've got enough battery. Fantastic. I've got enough battery there.
All right, sit down and let me see you. Like you're deep in thought.
Deep in thought. Okay.
Yeah, let's go to my Instagram for the show. So I'm gonna shoot for.
Closer to you.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna shoot for 30 minutes.
Okay.
And it's gonna go fast.
Oh, I know it will.
So.
I'm sure it will. So.
And we can see the time duration up there. So.
Let me make sure I'm all good here. Hi, people of Periscope. Oh, no one on Periscope. Bye, people of Periscope. People come in and out. Like, there's a click-through rate again. You know what I mean? So. You're on. Yeah, you're golden. God dang it. You can't read that. That's all right. I can read it. Hi. Hello. How's it going? We are getting ready to do a podcast, which is cool. I don't think I've done a podcast. I think you're going to be my first podcast.
Yes. Your first is always the best.
Yes.
No
always.
matter what you do.
Awesome.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit record.
Okay.
We're going to be completely silent because it's going to pick up ambient sounds. I'm going to kill that noise later on. So I'm going to hit record.
Let me take my jingly things off.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, because they jingle.
It almost looks like a little...
Hi, England.
Thor.
How's it going?
Thor set up.
No, it's awesome. What are you talking about? He's picking on my bracelet.
DJ Shannon C in the house,
All
South
day.
Tampa, Florida.
All day. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, beautiful people out there. You're listening to the smooth sounds of the Giant Nuggets podcast.
Yes, I love it.
All right, so we're going to be silent for 5 seconds here, okay?
You got it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Giant Nuggets podcast. Today we have DJ Shannon C in the house, all the way in South Tampa, Florida. Shannon, how's it going today?
Hi, RJ. It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for this last minute edition. I hit you up, like 5 days ago? I was like, Shannon, you want to be on this podcast?
I called you guys to confirm about an event I was doing. And you're like, hey, about that event.
Yeah, well, we can kind of get into that, how I know you. I work at GTE Financial, local credit union. We do many events, and Shannon is our go-to DJ.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the work. It's awesome working with you guys.
Let me tell you why I love working with you personally. We'll talk about from the corporate standpoint, and then we'll go into all what you do. From the corporate standpoint, you're super communicative. You bring awesome equipment. You set it up yourself. You don't need 10 people to help you set it up. You play great music. You make it a fun event. You're an awesome host. You're just very inviting and easy to work with. You're super low maintenance from the corporate standpoint, and I can't say enough.
You are flattering me to death, and I love it. Thank you. Make sure your corporate clients and all of those people looking to book their Christmas parties and things remember all of that fantastic information that he just said.
That's awesome. So if you want to find DJ Shannon C, check her out on Instagram. It's at DJ Shannon C. You can find her on her website. It's Intercross Solutions. When you're typing that into the little Google bar, it's only 2 S's in the middle. It's intercrosssolutions.com. Make sure you check her out on Facebook. It's Shannon Chansey.
Cheney.
I'm sorry. Say it for him.
Shannon Cheney. You can find me at Shannon Cheney or at DJ Shannon C. That should be Instagram and Facebook.
And now you're on Twitter at DJ Shannon C.
I totally just did it for Periscope. Yep, that's right.
There we go. All right, let's get into it, Shannon. How did you start getting into DJing?
Well, so I started DJing. Well, I've been playing music for a really long time. So I've been playing music since I was 5, and that's a really long time. if you know how old I am. But anyway, so
21.
We're going with that.
Yeah.
I like it. So I've been playing music for a really long time. I've been playing piano, and piano is one of my outlets. And so I have this piano in my apartment. It's great. Little electric grand piano. I play it. It's fantastic. It's one of my creative outlets. Okay. And I was in this really crappy car accident.
What?
I had a brain injury.
Oh my god.
And the brain injury kept my hands from moving the way they needed to on the keys, and so I was getting really depressed because I couldn't sit down. I'd sit down to play, and it was not good.
It was like oven mitts?
It was not good. So the guy I was dating at the time, he was like, here, try this little mixed track photo. And, he kind of broke down for me some of the elements of how it worked. Mm-hmm. I had been watching other people. I have several friends who DJ. I've been watching other people. I mean, I've watched the transgression from vinyl into digital and so on. And so I'd seen it, but he was really the first person to break it down for me. And that kind of opened that whole door up. It opened up a whole nother world of awesome, and that's kind of where it started. You know what I mean?
So for the people out there, they've never heard DJ Shannon C DJ. So are you like Skrillex up there, bringing up the music and then dropping it? Everyone's dancing around like maniacs. They're taking meth. They're like doing really crazy stuff.
No meth going on at my shows. So honestly, that's a good question. But it's a diverse question with a diverse answer. Honestly, my sound is going to depend on my client. So it depends on the type of show. For example, what you get at GTE Financial might not be the same thing that I'm going to play at a homecoming, might not be the same thing I'm going to play at a nightlife event. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all kind of different. But my sound, specifically, I try to be really open format. What that means is that we blend different genres of music together. I really don't, I like to say I ain't got no type. I play every genre that I like. You know what it is. So,
but if you had to like specify what you really like to play or
I have commitment issues. I don't think I could do that. Maybe. I mean, I like rock a lot. I like hip hop a lot. Like that. My people who know me know I like that old school.
Throw out some hip hop stuff that you like.
Man, like some Warren G and some Tupac.
Regulators.
And like some,
or this DJ be
Yes, absolutely. That's what I like.
This DJ be Shannon C.
That's what it is. So a lot of that stuff, I like a lot of old school Snoop Dogg. I got in trouble, and lots of trouble, for, what was it, a 2 Live Crew tape that my family found.
As nasty as they want to be.
Oh yeah, man, I was like 12, and my stepbrother had it, and I snatched it, and my family found it, and I was in so much trouble for that tape.
You won't believe that. Like, my dad was so like anti-rap, hip-hop, and so of course that's all I wanted to listen to, and I would hoard it and hide it. They'd find it.
Well, the 90s
and it would
stuff
make
was
me want
great.
it more.
It was great. It was, of course. And honestly though, I also had an Alice Cooper tape that I was really fond of. So I mean, I go all across the spectrum, and that's why I like to be open format in my playing, because I feel like I have such a large pool of knowledge of music and genres of music to pull from, and especially mainstream stuff, like stuff that everybody knows and is going to sing along to.
Absolutely. One question I have is, say I'm like a single mom, I have 2 kids, I want to have like a little birthday bash for my 14-year-old.
Okay.
How does somebody go about finding a DJ? Like, I don't understand. Do you just go into Google and type DJ Tampa? Like, I mean, how do they find you?
Well, there's lots of ways to do that. Some people do that. Some people utilize social networks like we were talking about earlier. There is a fantastic website called Thumbtack.com. A lot of people utilize Thumbtack both to look for their event, either their DJs, photographers, makeup artists, caterers, etc., or on our end, as far as the vendors, to bid on those gigs. So Thumbtack.com is a fantastic, I believe I've got a featured profile over there as well, with Intercross Solutions, but they're a fantastic way to get your gigs out and also to look for and fill those gigs. Now, the downside of Thumbtack.com is usually those are people who are kind of like bargain shopping. You know what I mean? So
because nobody wants to pay top dollar.
Well, no, nobody wants to pay top dollar for me. I don't want to pay top
dollar. But you're worth top dollar.
Thank you, my dear. Well, and all of us are, really. But my point, though, is that I like to utilize Thumbtack for last-minute gigs to kind of fill in my schedule when I haven't got anything else going on. Because I know those are going to be my lower-paying gigs. You know what I mean? So, and I see someone on Periscope. Who have I got over here? Yes, someone else on Periscope does the same thing. Yes, and good luck to you. Thumbtacks are fantastic. And especially if you're getting started in, like I said, in the wedding industry or in, like I said, photography, makeup artists, etc., that's a really great way for you to go.
Can I just tell you, this is the first Giant Nuggets podcast ever being broadcasted live on Periscope.
Yay,
Thank
first
you
time.
to DJ Shannon C.
Awesome.
Let me ask you this. Did you have any mentors or like maybe people in the business that kind of showed you the ropes?
Yes.
And kind of, helped you get started? Because you don't know everything when you're starting out. So kind of walk me through that.
Absolutely. Well, first off, Intercross, which is my business, did not start out to be a DJ company. That was something that was happening like in my bedroom initially. And on the back end, I had been working for a trivia company and doing like bar entertainment and stuff. Well, let me preface that to say I previously worked for JP Morgan Chase.
Yeah.
Right. I was in a corporate trainer position. I've been in corporate training for a long time. I like it. It's a cool job. That was my day job. And if I have to go back to a day job,
We all have them.
never going back. But if I have to go back to a day job, that would be what I would go back to. So anyway, where are we going with that? My influencer. So Intercross started out initially. I lost my job that I was working with the trivia thing because of the car accident, and I was going to open up my own company because I understand how to MC. I'm a good host and so on. I can facilitate well, and so I thought, well, gosh, I can do this too, and so I started out to do that. In the meanwhile, I'm kind of like learning and like figuring out how to DJ and kind of working on my sound. I have a couple little gigs coming in here and there, but I'm also watching because I feel like in order for us to be successful, it's always important to pay attention to people in your industry who are 5 steps ahead of you. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my gosh.
I told you, got all the nuggets in the world.
Oh,
5 steps ahead of
I
you.
could go off on that.
It's so important.
You can, well, they say
surround yourself.
Imitation is the best form of flattery. I have my 5K races that I put on, and I look at those bigger races.
For sure.
And I look at the marketing they're doing. I look at the e-blasts. I look at the videos, and I try to get where they're going. Not necessarily copying the content necessarily, but the production value and the way they communicate.
Well, plus you can gauge what is successful for them in business and what is not successful for them without spending your own marketing dollars to do it. So you can kind of look and see what they're doing and see what their turnaround and how they're getting their gains on that strategy and just observing what's working for them. Now, granted, what works for them might not work for you, but you can still glean a lot from that information.
What's your ideal set location? Is it at a club? Is it in front of 1,400 screaming kids?
Oh,
Is it
man.
outside in the sun? Because for the listeners out there, we actually had DJ Shannon C outside DJing an event. It was probably 95 to 100 degrees.
Oh, I just did that too. I did.
we gave you a little tent though.
You guys weren't bad. I did a grand opening for Nordstrom Rack here in Clearwater recently, that one that just opened. And I loved them and they were fantastic and I had a great time. But
Because you go shopping afterwards.
I totally didn't actually. It was good. But
there goes my DJ pay.
I was on blacktop and no tent and in all black.
Oh.
And I thought 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
No.
Great time,
Not
no
doing
worries.
it.
Man, you got to watch me like melt live on Periscope. It was great. It was awful. Awful. But, I had a really great time, and that's just kind of part of it, especially living in Florida. Ideal location. As far as the places I've played now, if I'm going to be outdoors, I like to have fans.
Yeah.
And when I say fans, I mean the blowing kind.
Oh, you don't
the
mean
screaming
the,
kind
I
are
love
great.
you,
No, those are great too.
Woo!
But I could have all the screaming fans in the world, but if I'm hot and uncomfortable, it's going to take away from my focus, and my focus is absolutely integral for me to do what I do.
Mm-hmm. Tell me some, maybe a horror story from performing. Everyone has some good stories. Give me a horror story.
Oh, I've got the best horror story
Yes.
ever. Oh, I've got several horror. This is a wedding horror story.
Ooh.
Oh.
They didn't get married.
They did get married. Horror story on my part. And again, this all comes back to one of the beautiful things about business. And like I was saying earlier, Intercross started as one thing. We've kind of developed into something else. You're always learning. You're always growing. When I started doing weddings, and I do some weddings, not as many, but I do some weddings. This was one of my worst weddings ever. I had many things that I learned from this wedding. Okay, so this was like the worst wedding ever. First off, with this wedding, it was one of those weird days in Florida in like the middle of springtime where it's creepy cold and really windy. And I was in the middle of the state, and the wedding was like set on a lake. you know, I don't even remember where to tell you it was at. It's somewhere I've never heard of before. I drove like an hour and a half to get there. They have an outside setup where I'm supposed to mic the ceremony and playing music for the ceremony, and then an inside setup for the reception afterwards. And so, and I'm doing this for a company, by the way. It's not through my company.
Okay.
It's through another company. So I get there, and there's so much wind that all of the stuff, like the chairs and everything, are blowing everywhere. And the bride is like, no, we are having this wedding outside. So no, it's going to be fun right from the go, right? From there, it got even more fun because we had agreed that we were going to mic the wedding. And I talked to the wedding coordinator, and we made a decision with the amount of wind there was no reason to mic the wedding. You'd hear nothing but feedback the whole time.
You say mic the wedding,
like
being
as in basically set it up so that the officiant and the bride and the groom have a mic and can be heard through my sound system while they're saying their vows, right? But if there's nothing but wind, then all you hear is that's all you hear, you know. And so we decided to kill that so that it wouldn't be a problem. Well, the bride had a problem with that too. That's fine. And I understand brides get stressed out on their main day. Well, anyway, so I'm outside. Nobody wants to come out and sit down because it's so cold and so windy. But I'm out here playing like the champ that I am, and I've got a dress on. You know where this is going. All right, and I'm wearing a knee-length cocktail dress, whatever, and all of the family and everything is in the venue behind me. They're like standing against the wall, trying to hide from the wind or whatever. And I've got my jacket on. I'm holding on to my laptop because the wind is blowing so hard it's actually blown my laptop off the table a couple times.
Oh my god!
Really bad. And so then
insurance people.
Yes, business insurance worth every penny. So then the worst thing happens, and that is I catch a nice underdraft and my skirt flies up, all the way up.
Was that on Periscope?
It was not, thank the Lord. But I'm sure the entire wedding party got a nice view of my backside. Wear appropriate clothes for wetter situations was one thing that I learned out of that. I had to tie my jacket around my waist to keep my skirt down. And then I'm just shivering. I'm shivering so, and I'm out there. Second thing that was horrible about this, clean edits you learn are really, really important. A lot of times songs that you don't expect have bad words in them. And so one of the songs is James Blunt, I think it's called You're Beautiful, right? And so this was one of the songs I was supposed to be playing before the ceremony starts. And so I completely forgot, I love this song, but I forget completely that in the middle of like the second verse, he drops the F-bomb.
Really?
I can see from your face, or you could see from my face that I was effing high. Yeah, I forgot about that, and that totally played out as people were like walking in.
Well, that guy was a one-hit wonder anyway.
It was bad. So I've already got my skirt blowing up. I've got like F-bombs dropping off the songs. Not all of the songs, mind you, just that one song. So you learn about clean edits and how it's really important to always make sure, even with your favorite songs, that they're all clean for the right occasions. That there was many other awful things that happened, but those are a couple highlights.
All right, I love it.
You know.
Tell me some things that people may not know about DJing, because some people might think, oh, I just hit play. Oh, it's done. That's it. That's all I have to do. Is there anything somebody doesn't know, maybe regular people, about DJing?
So there's totally lots of things that regular people maybe wouldn't know about DJing. A couple things specifically. So yeah, it's a lot of it's just hitting play. You know, there's a lot of that. But when they were records, you just hit play too. More so than that, people think, oh, it's just as easy as hitting play. But really, it's not just as easy as hitting play. Because even if I have two songs that are perfectly beat matched, right? Let's take sync out of it, because that's a whole, all the DJ audience will like, that's a whole topic sync. Right there, the sync button. But anyway, so we take sync out of it. I've got two songs, they're perfectly beat matched together, which means they're the same tempo, which means that if I push play at the same time, they should be in, you know, sync with each other, in theory, without said sync button. Anyway, I need to take into account a few things too. I need to take into account if there's lyrics going on over top of lyrics. I need to take into account if the songs are harmonically compatible keys. I need to take into account a lot of things to make sure that those still sound good. It's not just about pushing play. Now, mind you, there are some people who do pre-record their sets, and they do just push play. And, I mean, there's also some...
You can't really feed off the audience that way.
No, you absolutely can't feed off the audience that way. In fact, when I play these, I do really long gigs for scratch events. I work for scratch events, too, out of New York City, and they put me in these, like, H&M gigs and things where they're, like, 12 hours, you know. And you gotta go sit down and not look at the computer for, like, a half hour. in a 12-hour shift. And so I'll put on an extended mix, you know, of something I've already done and go sneak off and sit down in my car or whatever. But when I come back, you know, I always notice that it's kind of made a little bit of an impact because it's really like you're married to those tracks. So if the people in the store at the time aren't really feeling the songs they're playing, too bad. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So that's a really important thing too, is that a lot of it, especially for a successful set, is to be able to keep in mind the business aspect. One, so what's the client and who's your audience? What is it that you're trying to achieve? So for example, if I'm playing in a bar, my whole point is to keep the bar packed and keep people dancing so they then are thirsty, so they then buy from the bar. So what I play in that scenario, when that's the goal, is going to be completely different than what I play in, let's say, a retail scenario or a scenario with you guys where I'm trying to, you know, keep people in the store or keep the folks that are looking at the cars. Or make it fun. It's all really about the people who are there, being able to gauge the people that are there, think about your song selection, think about what you know works with that demographic, think about how many demographics there are, and like my brain is always kind of thinking, okay, how many demographics have I got in here? And which one have I got the most of? Which one or two? And then can I blend those two genres that appeal to those demographics together so I can then keep more people? So there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, there really is.
You know, I'm kind of curious because, you know, I've had those dreams. Oh, I want to be a DJ. I want to be up on stage playing all this music and traveling the world and getting a residency in Vegas and then do this and party all night and then travel and do all this stuff. So I'm a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid out there. I have these big aspirations of being a DJ. How does someone take those baby steps into making it a reality?
Well, honestly, the baby steps into making a DJ career being a reality, or even a small business, it's really very similar. First, it just starts with determining what it is that you want to do. And then from there, you utilize this amazing thing called the internet, where we have free access to all of these
social media.
Not just social media, that's there too, but for sure social media. But you can utilize the internet to gain access to free material, free YouTube videos, free things that you can do to learn.
Do you find yourself learning off YouTube videos?
Somewhat. I have other things, other ways I like to learn. But yeah, some YouTube videos can be really helpful.
Like when I was like building websites, I'd be like watching all these YouTube videos, and they have Audacity, editing Audacity, these podcasts. I mean, it's all in there.
Good stuff.
So anything you want to learn how to do, people,
on the internet for free.
YouTube, you can learn it. You don't have to pay for it. All right, anyway.
Just putting that out there. But so it would start off with determining that you want to do something, and then from there maybe looking and seeing a little more about it, what it is. Do you enjoy it? What's going to take for you to do that? So, for example, as a DJ, you know, I'm going to need to have access to music. I'm going to have access to hardware. So, whether I use turntables or a controller or whatever it is that I use, and I'm going to have access to those, you know, those things, and my computer, some speakers, so that I can at least play and practice and figure out what's going on, you know. So it's then about figuring out how to obtain said access and, you know, putting aside the money for it or whatever it is. If you go over to Sam Ash and just play sometimes on the equipment they have there, whatever, or you have a friend who has equipment, they let you play. I mean, whatever it is that you do, and, you know, from there you build. I mean, you try to learn and go from there. Like you'd asked me earlier about mentors. Right? So my mentors played a really big part, like not just the guy that I was dating who kind of showed me what it was. I worked with a couple local DJs who were really helpful. So I worked with, I met a girl named Mary. She goes by DJ Mary Mac. And actually she's not in anymore. She's retired. She's doing the family thing now. But she really like helped show me the ropes a lot when I first really got started, and she really kind of helped mold me, teach me the business side of it, teach me who you can trust, who you cannot trust, you know, how to read an audience, a lot of those skills. She really helped groom me with that. And then there was another DJ friend of mine named Randy Johnson. He's DJ Explicit, and he's really big in like downtown St. Pete. I mean, he's really fantastic. He does some really fantastic work. He got me to transition from controller life and just digital music onto vinyl and turntables. I was terrified of it, and he really like broke it down, showed me how it works, and really encouraged me to go that route. So then there was him, and then both of those two introduced me to other people who I've then had an opportunity to network with and learn from and so on. So they have been extremely helpful in my career.
Do you think I want to know about the inner circle of these DJ communities.
Oh, no, you don't.
And some people might just be like...
It's just like office life.
The tabletop DJ, but then you have the hardcore like spinners, and then you got the spinners that also do like drum beats and drum machines and all of that. Where does it kind of... Is there like a love for everybody on the same table, or is there like hate, like you can't sit with us?
No,
I want to know.
There's so much you can't sit with us. Between the software that you use, whether you're on Serato or Traktor, or Virtual DJ, don't use Virtual DJ. From the equipment that you use, like whether you play on a controller, or whether you play on CDJs, or whether you play on turntables, and there's so much like snobbery.
Like holier
yes. I mean, and again,
you do that?
I can
Ew.
appreciate now to make it completely fair. From the perspective of the folks who are veterans, and I have photographer friends who it's a very parallel, complaint. 10 years ago, before digital music, when you had to have a little bit of skill. I mean, you have to have a little bit of skill either way, but 10 years ago, back when it was vinyl, you couldn't just buy a controller and push play. There was no sync button. Vinyl's real hard. It's very difficult. Plus, there's a lot more to it because you have now the extra action of bringing more stuff, which means you had to bring crates of vinyl, and then you're limited to only the music in said crates, and also you have to be able to dig through, pull them up, set them on. There's a whole other process. So the folks that have been spinning since back then, I can certainly understand where they look at people who play on controllers and they're like, this person's crazy. I get it, because for them, what happened is the music industry changed, the digitalization of music happened, and suddenly it made it so it's easier. I think it's like 22,000 songs or something on my laptop. It's stupid. And then I have another hard drive with many, many more. But I can have all of those with me at any gig, versus I'd have to have a semi-truck of crates of vinyl back in the day if I wanted to do that. So it's made it, in one way, really awesome for us. In the other way, it's made it so that anybody can go to the store and buy some cheap gear and claim that they're a DJ and go out and undercut you and, basically take your work. So I understand from their perspective, when they see someone who's playing on a controller, how a lot of times they'll get kind of salty, because it's like, yeah, well, those are the guys that take my work. You know what I mean? On the other hand, though, like I have turntables at home. You see me, though, when I play at GTE, I play with a controller, because it's easier for me. It's less stuff for me to carry in. It's just an easier experience, especially in a small space, especially with weather elements and things like that. It's less expensive gear if it's going to get ruined. So those are choices I make, that aid me in business. It's not necessarily because I can't or I don't or whatever. But, I mean, there are definitely, I've gone to places and I've seen DJs set up with like an aux cord and an iPad. And it's a little, it's a little irritating to think that guy's charging the same amount as I am, and he's getting these gigs off of an iPad. Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, it's kind of the beauty and the beast of the digitalization of music, so to speak. All
right. Well, I don't want to, keep you from your DJ nights out tonight. I have basically two more questions that I really want to cover, and then I'll let you throw out anything that you want to.
Everything, all the things.
What's the master goal and vision that you have for you're a small business owner? So what's the master goal and vision?
So my master goal and vision, honestly, is always constantly evolving. Ideally, the very baseline is I never want to work a desk job ever again. I loved my desk job and it was great, but I really prefer, if I'm going to be spending time and effort, to be putting it into my business. You know what I mean? So I don't mind, and I really enjoy collaborating with other companies and other businesses, but I prefer to really be working with my business. Now, as it is now, like I said, we started out with the intent of selling trivia and bingo, bar bingo and stuff. I totally did that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway. So we started out with that intent.
I play that.
You do? You really?
Sometimes.
Yes, that's awesome. So anyway, I started with that intention. It kind of changed a little bit, when I had some opportunities to play in some places, and that just kind of, evolved from there, so to speak, with people seeing me, liking me, getting leads, and so on. And that's with any business. The master plan Probably long term. I'd like to play as long as I can stand to play. Like I said, I was in a bad car accident, so my body's pretty injured. I deal with a lot of pain and so on. But as long as I can stand to play, I will. But I'd like to have the business so that at some point I can slide back to what I was originally doing, which is teaching, and teach others to play.
Okay.
By the way, get me in touch with your Boys and Girls Club Connect. Get in touch with me, Claire. I would like to work with those folks as well. So.
To be fair, Claire is with Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh, my bad.
It's
Well,
all
anyway,
good.
Same
It's
thing.
all good.
Yeah.
They're all nonprofits helping people, so we'll get Shannon involved. All right, so do you want to shout out anybody? Let us know what kind of gigs you got coming up.
Yeah.
Anything you're working on?
Totally, always working on lots of
Any
stuff.
favorite music, movies?
All of it.
Recommendations?
Okay, I can definitely do that for you. So, let's talk about small business specifically. With regard to small business, I've been recently working on some classes on utilizing utilizing social media for small business, which I'm very passionate about because, like I was telling you, it's a free resource. It's something that most of unless you're out there in the business, it's most of your targeted demographic is on social media in some form or another.
Sure.
And they spend a lot of time there. So if we can market to them and blend in at the same time, that's a really good way for you to get your brand out and known. So I've been doing a lot with that. I really also like there's a coach I like named Lisa Nichols. She's fantastic. She's, I believe it is powering or motivating the masses. That's what it is. I took a workshop with her a little while back. It was a Power Jam workshop. It was really fantastic. She works a lot on business development, but also personal development. Also, I really like Bob Proctor.
I don't know who that is.
So he's one of the guys that really preaches about the law of attraction.
Okay.
So I really enjoy a lot of his teachings as well. I try to keep myself up and involved on those.
Is that like Tinder?
Not like
No,
Tinder.
that's no.
Hashtag no. Just kidding. Anyway, so I like a lot of that. I'm working on a lot of that lately. Also, as far as music goes, I've moved into the level of production because if you want to, be more than just a nightclub DJ or a wedding DJ, you got to be making your own music.
Okay.
And so I'm working on that. That's pretty cool.
Look at that.
Some really great resources I can recommend for folks who want to learn to DJ. Check out digitaldjtips.com. The folks over there, Phil Morris and Steve C., they've got some fantastic classes. I've taken like 4 or 5 of their classes now. They're really affordable. They're really great teachers. They're located in the UK. Everything sounds cooler with a British accent. So they're a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend for people who are interested in learning. In fact, outside of some of the mentoring and so on, my basic first DJ official learning experience was through Digital DJ Tips. It was like a how to digital DJ fast class or something.
Wow.
Fantastic class. So make sure you check them out. Let's see, as far as other stuff, gigs I've got coming up, I'm playing in Ybor tomorrow night. There's a place called First Chance Last Chance. It's right next to the amphitheater. It's pretty cool. It's really laid back vibe. If you like that old school hip hop, you have to come and see me. Hip-hop. And then I'm playing Saturday night, Salty's in Gulfport. Gulfport itself is gorgeous. Salty's is fantastic. It's kind of like an on the water open venue there. Really chill vibe. I love playing there. Again, super open format, super throwbacks. So, if you're into that sort of thing, definitely come check it out. I've got a couple Nordstrom gigs coming up with Scratch Events in October. So there'll be a beauty bash and also a VIP thing, so stay tuned for those.
GTE event, don't forget that.
Oh, yeah,
2
September
GTE
26th
events.
and then October 8th or
15th.
7th. Or, somewhere like
All
that.
right, you're fired.
Yeah, I know, I'm out. I haven't got my calendar in front of me. So all kinds of good stuff.
Make sure to follow Shannon on Instagram and Periscope and Twitter. It's at DJ Shannon C. Check her out her website, intercrosssolutions.com. That's intercross and then solutions, 2 S's in the middle.
Not 3.
And then on Facebook, you can look her up.
Shannon Chaney is my name.
All right, we're going to take it out on this last question here. Do you have any giant nuggets for the listening public?
I do. I have a few giant nuggets for the listening public. I'll try and make them quick. Couple giant nuggets. Giant nugget number 1, life is really short. I know that sounds crazy and like something you'd read in a meme or something, but I just want to say if you're thinking about opening your own business or starting your own business, this is the age of the internet. This is the age of the entrepreneur. Do it. do it. If you've got something to offer, invest yourself, invest your time, do it part-time. At least research it. It'll be the best thing you could ever do for yourself. Thing number 2, since we talked a lot about social media, I want to leave a nugget of, I really, really want to encourage people to remember that we're judged on our social media presence now. And people need to, especially professionals, need to be really conscious of the things that they're posting and the things that they're saying and commenting on, responding to, and if they correlate with their brand. Because a lot of times you might post something or like something and someone sees that who potentially would book you, doesn't agree with that, and won't book you just based on that. So it's really, really important to keep your social media profile in mind, especially as it relates to what you're trying to portray with your business.
Shannon, I've had a pleasure.
Thank you, me too.
This was great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
All right, have a
Bye,
good night.
guys.
Later.